He grabs his Glock. All I knew is that I was gonna protect my little brother no matter what. It was actually pretty disturbing. Hi guys, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a story time, which is a little bit different from my usual videos. These are all 100% true stories. I have 3 stories that I would like to tell you today. The first story is about a couple living in my backyard for who knows how long. The second story is about La Llorona. The third story is about a stalker. So sit back, relax, because you're in for a ride. Let's begin with the first story. This first story took place only a couple months back. It was a normal, boring day. I was sitting on my bed, nothing interesting, just watching Netflix, when out of nowhere, commotion erupts. At first, all I hear is the sound of people running, and that immediately alarmed me. I run to my front door and try to see what's going on. My mom is standing there next to my window, holding my little brother back. She tells me to take him with me and lock myself in the room. So I do as she says. I take my little brother and I lock the door. I have no idea what is going on at this point. Next thing I hear is my mom getting super frantic and worried, and now I'm getting frantic and worried because I have no idea what's going on and why my mom would tell me to go lock myself in my room. All I knew is that I was gonna protect my little brother no matter what. Now the story behind all of this commotion is actually pretty disturbing. In my backyard, there is an abandoned garage. There's a bunch of files in there and who knows what. It's just completely covered in spider webs. It is not ours, by the way. We do not own that garage. Even if I wanted to get in there, it would be way too hard. There's too much clutter in there. It turns out that there was this couple, I'm assuming they were homeless, and they were living in my backyard. My family and I spent a lot of time in our backyard. I spend time out there every single day, and I spend time with Sammy and Ginger, my dog and my cat. Now Sammy, my dog, is my best friend. I talk to him as if he were a real person because to me he is family and I love him so much. So I tell him about my day and I'm just sitting there outside talking to him, which might seem strange, telling him my most personal things while there was strangers, this man and this woman, staring and watching me, and I had no clue at all. Now the thought of that just disturbed me so much. We found out that they were there for weeks, so who knows what I said or the things that I did. So my father was the one who caught the man trying to get inside of the garage. My dad asked him to leave. He would just stand there and refuse to leave. My dad is not a very confrontational person. He's just asking and asking the man to please leave, and the man refuses. Now it's getting heated. Now it's getting worrisome because why won't this man leave from the house? So my dad goes and tells my neighbor about the situation, and my neighbor doesn't even think twice. He grabs his Glock, and he rushes out of the house, and they were both running towards the man, which explains the footsteps that I heard. The moment my mom saw the gun was the moment she told me to grab my little brother and go into our rooms. Our neighbor waved around the gun and threatened the man to get off our property. As soon as the man saw that gun, he told the woman to get out of the garage and skedaddle on out of here. So now we knew the reason why the man wouldn't leave. He was living in there with another woman. That experience still makes me super uncomfortable because now I think that I'm being watched all the time. They may even be watching me right now. Like you. The next story is a mini story. It's about La Llorona. And it's not something that happened to me personally, but something that happened to a friend of my father's. Every summer, my family and I would go camping with some friends of my father. The roads are very dangerous cliffs to get to the campsite. Nevertheless, I love camping. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. So my family and our friends don't usually leave at the same time, so our friends got there later. Their experience was a little bit more terrifying than some rocky cliffs. They were driving there in the middle of the night. Already scary enough to be driving in the middle of the night. Now, I don't know if you guys believe in La Llorona or even ghosts at all, but what our friends claimed to see was chilling. In front of the road stood a woman dressed in a white gown. Her hair was covering her face as she picked up an object and hurled it at the car. Now the wife of my dad's friend started screaming her head off, as one would expect to when you see something like that. And my dad's friend swerved the car to avoid missing her. But when they looked back in the rear view mirror, there was nothing there. Very cliche story, I know, but what if that's actually how it happens? They finally get to the campsite, but it's not our usual campsite grounds. They venture a little further off. They were super spooked. So my dad's friend makes his family stay inside the car while he goes and checks for a place that is safe to set up their tents. With his flashlight, he was searching through the branches and looking for the perfect spot when he saw a campfire. Around the campfire, there were people standing in a circle dressed in robes. One was holding a book and they were all chanting. He decided that was enough for him. He didn't want to get involved any further and wanted nothing to do with the situation. He had already been through more than enough for one night. He ran back to his car and his family slept in the car for the night. And the next morning, they just raced out of there. Now it's time for the third story. Third story is about something that happened to me senior year, I believe, of high school. So I used to have a different Instagram account back then. I would post a few pictures here and there, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that one day I was scrolling through my feed and I saw my picture, but it was posted from somebody that I follow, but I didn't know who they were and I didn't recall following them. I clicked on their profile and their profile picture was a picture of me. We had 40 mutual friends on Instagram. I was really confused, but I wasn't mad about it because I assumed it was a prank, and if it was, I wouldn't be mad at my friends for it. Then I thought no one that I knew would do something like that. I looked at the picture they posted of me, and it was a picture that I had recently posted, but with a different caption. They were talking as if they were me and that was my profile. I messaged the account asking, "Who is this?" and I had no answer. And I asked once again, "Who is this?" and I said, "I won't get mad." After no sign of response, I went back to check their profile and they had blocked me. So I had a spam account and I went on that spam account and followed them on there. I went on their profile and I saw that they had a new post. That picture was a picture of me and my little brother. Now I felt sick to my stomach. Whoever this was, I don't think they were playing a prank on me. I had asked people who were following the account if they knew who it was, and they all assumed it was me. Who knows if this account ever messaged anybody and pretended to be me? I tried to ignore it, I really did, but for some reason I felt unsafe. And I know it might seem silly, it's just online, right? But for some reason, I felt like my privacy was being invaded. Whoever's doing this, it's not funny anymore. But what's even more worrisome is, what if they were actually never trying to be funny? What if they just wanted to pass off as me? Maybe being an obsession or a crush, or I don't know what the reason for somebody to do that is. But when I went back to their profile, they had posted more and more pictures of me. And I felt really unsafe at this point because I had blocked my account on my Instagram, so they couldn't see any of my photos, but they were still getting those photos and posting them onto their account. So it had to be somebody else that I was following. And I wondered, who could it be? Everyone that I followed, I knew. I couldn't think of anyone who would do that. So I started to think, who do I really know? If I made eye contact with somebody, immediately they were on my suspect list. You could say I was very paranoid and very bothered that I knew that I would never know who it was that was passing off to be me. And I never did, and I never found out who was behind the account. Eventually, after I assumed the person behind the account got bored, they changed their username and they deleted all of my photos, and they had a profile picture of a different girl. And I knew that meant it was gonna start all over again with somebody else. And I had a feeling that it wasn't gonna stop there, that it was going to go after girl after girl after girl, which makes me think that this person was a guy who changed the account according to whichever girl he felt like messing with on that day. I will never know the reason behind that situation. The only thing I really know is don't trust anyone, because you never really know who someone is. That is it for this video. I hope you guys liked this story time. I know it was very different. Wanted to personally announce the winner of my thrifted giveaway, and it is Ale con los ojitos negros. Congratulations! By the time this video is up, I should have already contacted the winner and your thrifted prize will be on its way. You guys, she is so supportive of me and super sweet, and I adore her for that. Thank you guys so much to everyone who entered. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to be notified for my next giveaway. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye guys!